What's going on, everyone? Justin again, as always. Thanks for watching my channel. Welcome back. Cheers to those of you that have your beers. Yes, we are kicking it off with some Budweiser tonight. Hope you guys had an enjoyable work day. Getting ready to crest right into hump day. All right, that being said, where's Jeff, right? No Cool Tool Tuesday. He did stop by the shop, but very briefly, right? Collect a couple payments, make sure we didn't need anything, but the shipment was coming in and it was expected to arrive at any minute this evening, so he had to get home to make sure that he was there to receive the shipment of all these new products, tools, and carts alike. So I'm eager to see what he has coming into next week. So stay tuned for next week's Cool Tool Tuesday, and we'll see what kind of new goodies that he's got. Tonight's discussion topic, though, is going to be you gotta have the right mindset, right? You gotta have the mindset when it comes to saving money and creating passive income. This is something that I wanted to talk about because I think my brother kind of gets it, but maybe he doesn't fully understand it. He's had a lot of questions over the last couple of weeks, especially between him and his wife, is like whether or not they should consider investing. They just had a new child. They have some money. Some spam thing on Facebook tried to get them or convince them that they could make them double their money if they just gave them X amount of money. I'm not going to say any numbers here, to invest in their Bitcoin strategy thing that they had going on. I said, just don't do it. Look, it is a scam, okay? These people are trying to borrow your money to hedge their funds to make money. And if they lose it, it's not their problem, right? You gotta... There's a contract that's got to go into this. So you might end up losing your butt. You'd be better off getting a college savings account for your new son that has a higher yield or a higher interest rate of return as far as saving money goes, and then just don't touch it. And then you got to have the right mentality and mindset when it comes to putting money into this college fund, because you have to do it consistently. Let me tell you, the more and more kids that you have, the harder and harder it is to do it for every single one. I am well aware of that, believe me, okay? I have a lot of kids. But there are other ways that you can get higher yields to hopefully compensate for the additional children that you have. There's real estate, there's the stock market, there's high yield savings accounts. I don't think that CDs pay what they used to pay. The 401k is more or less for your retirement. I wouldn't call that a college funded program. Most banks do offer a college savings account that does have a higher yield than a regular savings account, like by a lot. I want to say it's close to about 4 or 5%. Whereas with a regular savings account, you get like what, 1 penny per year, so long as you have a positive balance. I mean, you could have $1 in there, and in 1 year's time frame you'll get a penny. So if you saved it for 100 years, you'll get $1, right? Not the best way to go about it if you're trying to save money and have it kind of make more while you're working. So in this aspect, I recommended getting this high yield savings account specifically designed for his college and for his future, because they'll at least get 4 or 5% of whatever they have invested into that savings account throughout the 12-month period, and you just keep chipping away at it, okay? That's what I mean by the mindset. You just keep chipping away at it. It's like anything else, right? You got a big project, scares you to just all get out. It scares the crap out of you. But you got to take it one fastener at a time. You got to take it one electrical connector at a time. And slowly but surely, you eventually get the job done, right? And it's the same exact thing when it comes to savings. Having that same exact mentality, that same exact mindset of just a little by little. I'm going to tell you something, a word from the wise, okay? My dad told me long time ago, years and years ago, it doesn't matter how much you save so much as you save it. So even if you just dedicate $10 of your money per week, or $40 or $50 per month of your earnings, and set it to the side and forget about it, and you do that week in and week out, or month in and month out, you are going to be surprised at how much you've saved over time. All right, so how does that actually create you a passive income? Well, in case you missed it, if you're saving money year in and year out, and let's say you had $1,000 saved over the course of 12 months on a 4% yield, you're making $40 a year essentially. And that was $40 that you didn't have to add to it, that gets added on to what it is that you saved. So in a way, you're creating a passive income because you got $40, you basically got paid $40 for saving $1,000 in a 12-month stretch window. So how else can you generate higher yields or higher percentage rates of passive income year in and year out? If you decide to invest your money in a 401k, this is how it's worked for me. By me taking 8% of my total earnings that I get paid every week, and my boss matching me 4%, that means I'm saving 12% of my check week in and week out. So for every 8% I'm putting in, he's matching me up to half, which is 4%. So that's 4% that I didn't have to come up with, that's being added onto that, that's going into my 401k. So that in itself is adding itself over time. Remember, this is a time game. The second thing that you might not realize is that your 401k is still attached to the stock market, even though you're not buying equities or individual stocks or anything like that, or any kind of indexing funds. You're putting it into a 401k, which is essentially a mutual fund of sorts. It still goes up and down every single day, every single trading week. You won't ever see that because every time you open up your stub and you see how much is in your retirement account, they're never going to show you the dips. What you have to do is do your due diligence and make sure that the investment or the fund that you're putting your 401k money into is actually going to generate a good percentage per year. I'll give you, for instance, because this is what happened to me. So I automatically was defaulted into something that was called John Hancock. And this John Hancock mutual fund was notoriously doing negative 14% year in and year out. That is bad. That means they're losing money year in and year out. Had I not done my research and gone online to see where they would be at within a 12-month, 3-year, 5-year, 10-year window, I would never know if my investment or my money that I was putting to the side was going up or down. So I decided to switch over to a Vanguard index fund. And that Vanguard index fund averages about 10% yield year in and year out. So on top of the 4% that my boss is giving me, I'm also gaining 10% as far as what the Vanguard fund is doing. So that's a 14% 12-month gain over the 8% that I'm putting in. That is a great return. That's pretty good. That's really good, okay? To have 14% on top of the 8 that I have in it. Man, that's a 22% gain right there, right? So 22% is being saved for me year in and year out in my 401k, and I don't have to do anything, and I don't have to stress about the ups and downs because it never shows it to you. That is a great way of compounding yourself over time because it keeps on adding to it. And it just keeps adding to the same exact fund. And as it adds to it, there's a dividend yield. Yes, there's still a dividend yield even for mutual funds that gets incorporated into your 401k. You just will never see it. So what's the difference here? The difference between individual stocks and putting your money into a 401k or a mutual fund is the fact that somebody else is in control of what sectors it's going into, whereas with the stock market, you're choosing individual sectors, whether it's banking, cyclicals, non-cyclicals, energy stocks, etc. Like you're picking the industry there, and in that case, it is a gamble, and you can, when you open that account, you can see the rise and the fall. And guys, don't get stressed out when you see the fall. I've been upside down for months, but everything's kind of coming back up due to the whole elections, right? Elections, that's a notorious time when stock markets are going to come down just before it, and then they take off right after it because everyone's stressed out. They don't know what the president's going to do, what the new president's going to do. Everyone freaks out and starts selling everything. That's the time that you want to start adding. When everything is red, you want to start adding a little bit here, a little bit there, so much as you can afford to. And then when everything starts to go green, that's when you want to sit back, relax, and let the dividend reinvestment take its place, okay? So there's a dividend reinvestment account. There's a lot of information all at once, I know, but listen to me. You can enroll in what's called a DRIP account, which is a dividend reinvestment account. And every quarter, they're going to pay you for holding on to those shares and never selling them. So depending on how much they pay quarterly will depend on how many shares you have, and that depends on how much you're going to get paid. And over time and time again, you've seen it, you've heard it. You can watch Stephen Graham, you can watch Andre Jake. There's a handful of these investors that are on YouTube that walk you through all the ins and outs of this. But if you're focused on growth and earnings, those dividends that stack on top of themselves over time will grow and grow and grow. And that's how you take your money and make more money while you're making money. So if you invested $10 a week into one stock, okay, there are stocks that are available for $10. Be careful, make sure it's a blue chip stock. Ford is a blue chip stock, and they're one of the only car companies during the depression that we had, or recession that we had back in 2008, that never filed for bankruptcy, and they're still trading at anywhere between the $8 and $20 mark. You could buy one share per week, or as you can afford to, of their stock, and they do pay a dividend. I don't know how much it is off the top of my head. I'll try to put a little screenshot or picture down here for you. But look, I'm going to tell you guys, it's an affordable stock. It's not going anywhere. Ford's been around for years. Their stock has been around for years. I'm not saying to invest your entire life savings into Ford, okay? That's ridiculous. You can diversify. Diversification we'll get into later. But this is the way that you create a passive income. And passive income is income that you are receiving on money that you didn't have to labor for, okay? So how cool is it that you can actually make money with your money without trading labor for dollar value? The reason why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer is because the poor will go out with their stimulus check and they will go and take that $1,200 they got and buy a flat screen. Tell me that wasn't a thing when Costco offered it for $1,200 right when stimulus checks dropped. Come on. But if you were smart and you put it in savings with a high yield, or you put it into your 401k, or you just saved it in case there was some kind of an emergency, or you put it towards your bills. Look, I don't know. I don't care what you put it towards. But if you would have saved it, if you would have reinvested it, you would have seen that it would have grown over the last 6 months. Since March, I've probably made a couple $100 by just putting it into an investment account and letting it set and never touching it. And that, my friends, is passive income. We will get more into this discussion topic as far as dividend reinvesting, DRIP accounts. We're going to go into more detail as time goes on about strategies that I used for investing, but I will tell you this. It's better to start somewhere than nowhere, okay? Put it this way. There are guys out there that will sit there and they will pray and pray and pray for a full tank of gas when they ran out of gas. But they will just sit there and pray and pray and pray until it happens. And there are guys that realize they ran out of gas and the next gas station is 20 miles down the road, and unless they get their ass off the seat and walk 20 miles to get said gas and walk back, that car ain't starting. It's just a little metaphor, okay? That's all I got for tonight. But look, I appreciate each and every single one of you watching. I hope this video gave a little bit more clarity to my brother and maybe clarity for some of my younger subscribers out there. Start saving now. Don't invest your entire life savings into the market. You're going to be disappointed in the beginning. It's going to take you years to get comfortable enough with seeing a loss and then appreciating the gains, okay? But if you were to put it into a savings account that has a high yield percentage rate that's giving you money year in and year out, you're going to be very happy. If you put your money into a 401k that is growing on its own and you never have to see it because it's automatically taken out of your paycheck and it just sits there to the side, you are going to be happy. So this is my food for thought for tonight. Thanks as always for watching. If you like today's content, smash the thumbs up. If you didn't, Smash the thumbs down. Let me know in the comments if you like the content. We'll keep it going. That's all I got for this video. Cheers to those of you who have your beers, and we'll see you guys next time. Doses.